A report by New York Times has highlighted the dismal condition of homeless people in cities across the U.S. The report says cities in different parts of the country are witnessing an epidemic of deaths on the streets, as homeless population is growing in size and age and becoming more vulnerable to illnesses. Officials and advocacy groups have expressed concern about the dying homeless people in Austin, Denver, Indianapolis, Nashville, and Salt Lake City. But the situation is more catastrophic in California. The state is home to a fourth of America's 500,000-strong homeless population.
California is emblematic of neoliberal U.S. empire with a liberal face around the world. California's economy is ranked among the top 10 in the world. If it was an independent nation, California would be among the 10 wealthiest countries in the world. Yet with that in mind, California also has some of the highest poverty rates in the United States, some of the highest homelessness rates in the United States, and some of the highest rates of inequality. The rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer.
Across Los Angeles County last year, the unsheltered died in record numbers, an average of 5 homeless deaths a day, most in plain view of the world around them. 287 homeless people took their last breath on the sidewalk, 24 died in alleys, and 72 were found on the pavement. In some cases, bodies are left undiscovered for hours. Others are unclaimed at the morgue despite efforts to reach family members. The wider availability of fentanyl, a particularly fast-acting and dangerous drug, has been a major cause of the rising death toll, but many homeless people are dying young of treatable chronic illnesses like heart disease. In many cities, the number of homeless deaths doubled during the pandemic. In many American cities, the number of homeless deaths hiked during the COVID-19 pandemic as public health officials have been preoccupied with combating the coronavirus and medical facilities have been stretched thin. A key distinction among the homeless population today is the fact that most of them are older people. Homeless people in their 50s are showing geriatric symptoms, difficulty dressing and bathing, visual and hearing problems. California, flush with cash from pandemic budget surpluses, has poured record amounts of money into combating homelessness. Authorities have announced a $12 billion homelessness package last year that included funds to construct 42,000 new housing units. But the measure has failed to alleviate the pain of homeless people.
In the eyes of the capitalist system and the wealthy users and bankers and elites who run this country, the lives of individual people do not matter. Profits come before people. Profits and money and usury is the god of the American empire, an empire of lies.
The catastrophic situation is attributed to the dismal state of U.S. economy. Inflation in the United States is climbing at its fastest rate in over 40 years, driving up the costs of everything from groceries to used cars, and it could get worse.
And this is fundamentally down to economics. This is down to settler colonialism. This is based on the idea that as long as you follow this religion of money, of fame, of Hollywood, of movies, of vulgarity, then it doesn't matter if you have people living in the street. It doesn't matter what sort of policies you have in your home state. And we see this happening today all across California. Conditions are getting worse, the inequality is getting worse.
Fears of a recession are mounting across the U.S. as Americans begin to pinch pennies as prices climb on goods and services. Several million workers dropped out of the U.S. workforce during the COVID-19 pandemic, plan to stay out indefinitely because of persistent illness fears or physical impairments.